Minds is match point against TNC, and if TNC wants to get to the playoffs, they got to reverse sweep this here. So interesting lineup. They are going to be having that revitalize in the hands of Yawi. So we'll see if they're able to pull off a start to a reverse sweep by getting a game 2 as we jump into the land of dawn here. TNC Pro Team versus Twisted Minds.
Ooh, right now I think things are going to get different for TNC Pro Team and Twisted Minds. I would say that Twisted Minds might just have the upper hand in terms of early game rotation because of the Mathilda and the Faramis as compared to the TNC's Johead and Vexana during game number 1. So now, for TNC, it is up to them how to be able to funnel Lancy really well so that he has faster stacks with the Bat's impact.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to do that too. I think this is also going to change, of course, the game here for 3mar, picking up that Edith, run the Warcry emblem. He's actually going to be able to pump out quite a bit of damage early on if they do skirmish with this. But this is a deadly combo, man. We've seen the Matilda and the Alpha often when it is picked up, and it's really hard to kind of fight against Escalera. Should be able to get away. Does.
Yep. Keeping it up here under the pressure coming in from the Matilda. Reason why, I think we're about to see the reason why it's always banned out, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see that in a very, very short while. Zyda coming in close here. Twisted keeping their eyes on the prize here, making sure that the presence is felt for TNC.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, again, because of the aggression coming from the side of Twisted Minds, TNC needs to be able to play this a lot more carefully than how they did in game number 1. And plus the fact that Yawi's skills, aside from the AOG and probably Unbreakable, they don't have any skills to lock down their opponents.
All right, Flicker already burned. 3mar, they try to make a play on bottom. They'll go ahead and take that. We're still a little bit away from this turtle coming up.
Nice
but right
flex,
now,
by the way.
There it is. Pack to the Undying.
Yeah, you get 10 kills, you're going to get a change-up. Changes in the game. The skin transforms, so that's amazing.
How did we get Acid Gothic from that banner, by the way?
I still don't know.
Something
I still don't know.
It's Revenant Roses. I'm still wondering.
It's the style. It's the style. It's,
Okay.
Maybe it's Gothic.
Yeah. I think it's like a Souls-like, you know, reference. Anyway.
Easy turtle.
Zyda.
Easy turtle there. Zyda didn't even attempt, didn't even bother to go for the contest.
Ooh, I got really scared for a moment there because I felt like Zyda could have gotten bursted down if they did veer towards that purple buff or at least get the orange buff. Just so happens that I do think the Twisted Minds weren't aware that Zyda was there at that point, so that was a trade.
You gotta remember too, this lineup from TNC is meant to get to the later portion of the game. You know, if they don't want to fight early on, they don't have to. That's the thing. They're putting, you know, some of that fighting power obviously in the Sicilian for Lancy. He wants to be able to get the stacks up. So it's going to be Twisted Minds doing stuff like this to trying to see if, hey, can we actually go ahead and fight this? You know, can we actually force a response from TNC? And so far, they haven't been able to find anything, but they will continue to build up on that small gold lead they have.
Yeah, at this point, yes, I do agree that TNC doesn't have enough damage output yet. And you would think and wonder maybe that you can easily counter out a Sicilian and a Harith, especially in the middle stages if you have a Radiant or Athenas. But the moment these two already have Divine Glaive, that's when things are going to get difficult.
Yeah, at that point, really doesn't matter if you have like the high magic resist, right? So, yeah, you're going to have to keep your eyes on those timers as well.
Yep.
Okay, so this turtle's still a bit away, and I'm surprised, you know. Oh, hold on, 3mar?
Big dive in here, 3mar TZ trying to help out by Yawi, make sure that he is alive. And again, this is Twisted Minds, just making sure that TNC feels that presence, that pressure coming from them.
It's always going to feel that way. It's always going to feel that way for TNC, where they're kind of responding to what Twisted Minds is doing right
Tank
now.
mode.
Yeah, tank mode. At this point in the game, you can see some rotation happening up here up top.
Oh, they find outplayed, force the flicker out. They'll be safe on their tower. Look at that counter. Look at that counter. Betty Cutie close to death there, outplayed, going in with a 2v1, still surviving, even pushing him back.
Yeah. What a great outplay from Outplayed. And right now, I think this turtle will go into the hands of Twisted Minds uncontested. And again, this is TNC's mindset right now to funnel both Benny QT and Lancy so that later on into the game, that's when they will start to shine.
Look at this. Look at that pressure coming in from Twisted. even making it hard for Zyda to actually get into these
AOG.
farm. Here's the AOG used up by Yawi. I think that could be crucial. Hajizi close by, getting ready with that Nether Realm if necessary.
And that turret nearly going down here. A whole lot of gold going in the hands of Outplayed. So even if he hasn't gotten any kills yet, he is farming up really well right now. And it's TNC, like I said, just trying to kind of buy time, it seems like. And that might be, oh no, Yawi?
Yep, Yawi gonna get chased up here.
Oh,
It's gonna be pulled in, and it looks like that'll be enough. Hajizi making it happen with the Shadow Stampede.
Great movement coming from Twisted Minds. They really are confident at this point in time, and understandably so, because the kits of their heroes have enough damage output. We will look at the Infinix in-game equipment. Right now, they're really focusing more on being able to build anti-heal, talking about Haji, and more defensive items for the frontliners, James and Escalera.
I'm wondering, you know, as we look at this too, because you see how this lead is kind of ballooned already.
Yeah.
For Twisted Minds, a little bit of action here. Yawi's going to jump in, and just James just doing the footwork against TNC again on this Hilda. And it might be a little tilting for TNC to deal with because they just can't really answer what James has been providing, you know, from the previous game and until now. And I'm really wondering with TNC, because something just seems like they're not able to get what they're looking for. Now, is that because of the fact... Oh, Yawi again?
Yeah, they're putting so much pressure on the Gatot Gacha here. It's making sure you can't really dive in freely. I guess that's one way to kind of slow down Yawi. Very few ways to do that, but this is one way to do it.
But this is now going to be the third turtle for the taking here, and I just can't see TNC wanting to fight this. It's going to be too much of a risk if they do. You can already see James just waiting patiently around the orange buff. Will give that information, and they're just going to blitz this turtle. So 3 for 3 right now. And they might force a fight.
Ooh. Get that. Martisi up on front. There it goes. A Primal Wrath. Looking at it, and it looks like they'll be able to actually disengage this quite nicely. Don't even bother using the NetherRealm yet. They still got some bullets in the barrel. And TNC are on the run.
We will see right now how Twisted Minds will be able to capitalize on this lead by looking for Zyda like this.
Big dive in on the Zyda, and Hajizi making it easy for MP the King to make that kill work.
It's too much utility, man. It's too much speed right now. Coming out from Twisted Minds.
And I don't think we have reached a point wherein Hajizi needed to use his NetherRealm.
That's true. We haven't seen it pop yet.
Right now, I think Twisted Minds have a lot of liberty to be able to just really freely do whatever they wanted to do. That's the first NetherRealm in this match.
First NetherRealm at 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Hey, man, he hasn't had to do much but just kind of stampede around, you know?
Stampede around.
And there hasn't been an answer from TNC.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you guys have been watching the TNC matches and the previous ones they had and even last week, this is probably one of the times where it's like, man, they're really struggling to find whether that be pickoffs. And is it too much? Yeah, is it too much kind of relying on Yawi to be able to get something to happen? Well, again, he's going to charge in Unbreakable.
Try to make the play happen, but you can cancel the Unbreakable quite easily with the lineup they have. But now, again, Twisted I think they just have to make sure they're not comfortable, right? You can't be too comfortable here with the line of TNC. That can be deceptively bursty as well.
Look at the gap right now between the jungles. Like this is not where you want to be. Yeah, 3-level gap, and you know the alpha scales really well, and it's tough to deal with, especially paired up with a Matilda.
I think a huge chunk of why TNC has been playing super passively has got to be the fact that Yawi isn't holding a hero that can set up properly, I would say. He needs someone to be in front, and that's Martisi. And so far, we haven't seen them group up yet. But will they see Zyda, though?
Oh, nice. Zyda trying to go for that Hail Mary, but gonna get caught up and destroyed here.
That would have been huge if he was actually able to get that.
Yeah, I know.
We always talk about how, man, look at the Suyos. You can't really out-retry them with his kit and everything else. Well, when you're gapped like this,
gap is huge.
3-level gap.
All right, we're going in for the siege. Twisted feeling confident here. Hajizi up on front. Gets some damage here with those Ghost Bursters, but not going to be a push happening so far. TNC still has some pretty good wave clear.
They have good wave clear, but I don't think there's been enough time. I mean, we're just nearing... Oh, Lancey!
Oh, boy! Oh, man, Lancey on the Brick of Death here. Almost got it, but right now Twisted gonna go for the classic siege. Lord is very far on the bottom side of the map. They have some time to make this happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Right now, Twisted Minds really needs to be able to capitalize on this first Lord by
close.
at least being able to burst down all of the outer turrets, and I think they will be able to do just that.
Yeah.
For TNC, however, they need now to extend this game to at least, I would say, a 20-minute game before they're able to dish out the damage that they wanted in this lineup.
Look at that focus as well. Keeping the
agree with
pressure close to these turrets. And I think they could go in. Yawi, oh my goodness, he is in trouble. Forced to use the AOG to get out of harm's way. Free Martisi uses the flicker as well. The front line of TNC can't really sustain long enough to make any meaningful engage.
Yeah, they get that out. You know, that's a Revitalize gone, and, you know, a flicker down too. And that's the thing. You know, this was only the first Lord, so you can't expect Twisted Minds really to end the game just yet, even though they have that 8,000 gold lead. They got the shields, though, down, and now they're going to be prepped and ready about a minute away. So you got to think, all right, TNC, what do we need? 10 minutes or so?
Yeah.
So what do we do? Just let the next Lord go as well and then hope to be able to defend.
Right now for TNC, they need to at least find a trade or an opening. Mind you, they haven't brought down a single turret yet. So in terms of minion management, it's gonna be difficult from here on unless they do something about it. We cannot mind the kills because that's, you know, that's not that necessary for this game to be won by TNC. But if they want to come back in this game, they have to at least get a pick off and an objective heading into the middle stages of the game, because right now we're in the mid game now.
Yeah.
Twisted just has like a really good 5-man comp here. It's so hard to break through.
No, because even if you're TNC and you catch someone, like you got to think about how difficult it is to catch someone when there's a Matilda on the other side. Not only that, but even if you catch someone, you also have a Netherrealm to work through.
Two layers.
There's a couple layers for TNC to go through, and because they're lacking the firepower right now to even be able to do that, it's really difficult for them to look for those angles and look for those openings. So now Lord is up. There's really no contest here. If they do decide to go for it, it might be another Hail Mary where it's like, all right, send Zyda, see if he can get something off. But look how fast this is going down. Lord secured for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, I don't think also TNC would want to contest, considering that the Lord already is already approaching the bottom lane. So if they were at least -1, TNC would have a hard time defending this base. But now Athena Shield has been picked up by 3 Martisi, so as to be able to counter Hajizi. But my worry is Hajizi still has Netherrealm. So will this be the Lord ending siege?
Possibly so. We do see MP King ready to dive in. They're trying to get some siege happening here. It's a flying tank right away. Forcing the flicker out, though, is going to be huge. Outplayed could be vulnerable here, and they're trying their best, but the defense is actually pretty strong still for TNC.
I'm not sure, did Outplay mean to go with him? Because he burned the flicker when he's like, oh, I'm a little bit too far into the base right now.
I think he didn't.
I think he didn't expect that he would go that far, right? Maybe he wanted to go, but not that far. So that's a flicker expended. So now, maybe, just maybe, Twisted Minds need to play this a little bit more less aggressive, because TNC now has enough kit to at least dish out damage output against Twisted Minds, especially against Outplayed.
Yeah, now he doesn't have a flicker for like 78 more seconds. That's huge.
Yeah, they're going to push this in still. Let's see if they get the top turret.
Right. He's flying. He's flying. He's trying to bait some skills. Escalera going to be able to make it out, at least for now. MP King on side as well. Shames up on front. Outplay can't really get close anymore because he really is vulnerable right now.
Good clear. Good clear right now for TNC, and they've bought themselves at least 4 of the 10 minutes that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, this is what we have been mentioning right now for TNC, to prolong this game as much as they could, because I do believe that the moment another team fight occurs, maybe in the 15th minute mark, that is when we will see the beauty of this lineup from TNC. But it all needs to start, in my opinion, with 3 Martisi, because so far I do think that he's been playing so safely that TNC hasn't been able to find an opening against Twisted Minds.
Yeah, it's a little too safe for my taste as well.
You think he's got to be the one to flicker forward, get that Earth
flicker
Shatter.
Earth Shatter,
Earth Shatter, I agree,
get that combo off to take some of that pressure off Yawi. Because right now it does feel that way. It's like TNC's waiting just for Yawi to find a jump or like, you know, a taunt with the Unbreakable or something to happen. but it could also just be, again, delaying things as much as they can to allow Lancey to get that damage. I mean, Benny Cutie hasn't died either, so he's been farming up pretty well. So it could. We have seen that before where a team would have, you know, this kind of lead, almost 10,000 gold, and then because of the specific composition that the opposing team has, in this case TNC, they can win base defenses. So that's something that Twisted Minds definitely has to worry about. We're 10 seconds away from this Lord coming up. TNC, I don't think still want to actually really contest this. Just get back, you know, fight in the safety of the base for now. So this should be a rather quick Lord. You can see they do kind of get in positioning. Sada wants to go ahead and at least grab his buff before this base defense.
At least they do have vision of James. They know where Escalera is. And Zaid is up on front, but no way that they can really contest that Lord. And they're going to have to wait for the walk up again on the bottom side of the map.
10 seconds. Yeah.
Yep.
10 more seconds before the Lord spawns, I believe. Right now for TNC, again, same thing that they've done in the first Lord Siege against Twisted Minds. They at least need to be able to push one more wave so that they won't have a hard time pushing, defending the other lanes.
Yeah.
Because right now, this is the third Lord, if I remember correctly, yes, of the match. So the next Lord, the 18th minute Lord, that's the evolved Lord already. So that is when things are going to get a little bit more difficult for TNC.
Yeah. Even with Lancey on the Sicilian, right?
Yeah, even with him.
We haven't got to look at his stacks. I wonder how many stacks Lancey does have, but they're going to have to go ahead and get ready for this base defense. Mid turret should go down.
And him going down, and there goes the engagement. Yowie's still alive here, but only for just now. Lord is half health. Jump in with the AOG. Yowie trying to keep it alive. And MP. With his Revitalize, he actually will stay up. MP the King's going to fall here. Free Martisi and Zaida finally up on front. That's -1 for Twisted Minds.
This is really what we are expecting from TNC Pro Team. The Bats impact coming from Lancey, the Chrono Dashes, as well as the Synchro Fission coming from Benny Cutie. All of these have enough damage output already. Divine Glaive and Holy Crystal respectively for Benny and Lancey. Right now, Twisted Minds needs to be able to find an opening, or else they won't be able to end this match at all and they will find themselves losing.
Well, they got another 7 minutes now of the 10 that we mentioned, and you guys can already see it. You're getting closer to that mark and that point where TNC is able to turn this game around. And still, it might be the same case. You know, Lord's going to be up in a minute. They are now being able to at least get some of the buffs here, and they continue to stack up. You're seeing how difficult it is to actually go and end a game against this kind of composition. Here's a look at the stacks right now. 4 outplayed. Yes, he's got a lot too, but he's still having a difficult time at actually trying to get into that base because of the fact that you have to be so careful from getting caught out by the claws from Lancey and, of course, the bat impact. So that's something that TNC will play around. Now, I'm still expecting Twisted Minds to get this next Lord, and we'll see if they're able to play around more of the evolved one now, and maybe that helps them out. But I don't know. If TNC wants to play and just take the chance, they might actually contest it.
Yeah, it feels like they just have so much more wave clear, and TNC can just keep doing this all day long. So it's gonna take a little bit of a creative attack from Twisted, despite their lead, despite like a 6K goal lead. Earlier it was 8.
Yep. It was 9, I think.
It was 9, actually, yes.
So right now, they've bought enough time, 18 minutes into the match. Again, this is the Evolved Lord. So if TNC won't contest this, I think that's going to be more difficult to defend. But right now, Zaida's already level 15. So in terms of retribution damage, it's going to be the same, if not more, than MP the King.
Well, I think they are going to contest this one. They're actually up front now. So it's Twisted Minds kind of respecting that. And so this will be the first time we see both teams actually face up against the Lord, and it's not going to be a free take for Twisted Minds. So waves will be handled by Lancey. Escalera is going to jump forward.
They know it's a 4v5, and they are engaging as hard as they can. There goes the jump in and the activation of the Netherrealm, keeping Twisted alive. But here's a 5-man. TNC are finally complete. They're chasing up MP the King, but that's going to be Netherrealm used up already.
No retry.
That's a whole lot used.
Yeah. No retribution for MP the King, so I think TNC can just chill for a while, or else this will happen again.
But you know what Twisted says? We don't want them to chill. That's Benny Cutie with a flicker in, and they used up the Zaman Force already behind the Lord.
Oh, a whole lot. And they got to deal with that wave pushing in the bottom. So they go and send 3-Mar to deal with it. Lords for the taking, and Twisted can take control of this.
Yeah, they got the Lord here for sure, unless...
3 seconds, Retri.
Unless a huge miracle actually is going to happen here. Zyda trying to keep his distance. He is spotted out by Escalera and James as well. Look at that, he's trying to go for the back, and Zyda actually almost dying to James here.
Oh, Benny!
There you go, Benny trying to dive in. Diamond Force already used up, and that is going to be it for the Harif. 2 down here for TNC.
This is scary right now because our Twisted Minds have enough kit. They are complete. And in 20 seconds, 15 seconds, the Lord will be spawning. I don't think Yawi and Benny will be there to witness this Lord Siege. So it is up to Lancy and 3-Mar TC.
Yeah, it looks like they don't even need the Lord right now. They are trying to see if they can finish it right here and then. And they're able to take out 3-Mar TC as well.
Sweep.
James is going to be close here. We are looking at a possible sweep, but there are no minions. They're just waiting for the Lord to arrive. It's Lancy versus the world. It looks like that will be it. It's a sweep, and Twisted Minds, they get